Good morning and a warm welcome to your show, Sunny Mornings in Boston. I'm your host, Melissa, and it's Friday, March 8th. Coming up on today's show, we'll get into the weather report, then we'll jump into some local news and a few interesting happenings in business, tech, and science. But first, you'll be interested to know, today is International Women's Day. Hooray for women! The day focuses on empowering women and showing appreciation for all that they have accomplished. And now that we know, you know what it's time for. That's right, it's time for the weather report. In the Boston area. This morning, it's mostly sunny and feels like 29 degrees with 13-mile-per-hour wind. The sunset will take place at 5:34 and it will rise again tomorrow at 6:05. It looks like we're in for a sunny day at a high near 41, with wind of 8 to 11 mile per hour and gusts as high as 21. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 32. For all you beach runners out there, the first high tide Friday will be at 9 a.m. with a low tide at 3:30. The nearshore buoy at Cape Cod Bay reads 39 degrees for the water temperature. Looking ahead in the weather. Expect a cloudy Saturday with a high near 45 degrees, leading into a rainy night with possible thunderstorms and strong wind gusting up to 37 miles per hour. Sunday will see rain, mainly before 2 p.m., with patchy morning fog and windy conditions with gusts up to 40 miles per hour and a high near 54. Sunday night might bring more rain before clearing up, with breezy conditions continuing and a low around 33. Monday will be partly sunny and windy, with highs in the mid-40s and gusts as high as 40 miles per hour. Bonjour, food enthusiasts. This podcast is brought to you by Versailles Cafe and Pastries in Encinitas. Nestled on El Camino Real South, just north of Encinitas Boulevard, this cafe is a haven for culinary delights. Indulge in their amazing Eggs Benedict or their gluten-free crepes. You can grab a panini for lunch or just breeze on through to get your morning coffee. They are open every day from 8 to 5. So stop on by and don't forget to tell them Sunny Morning sent you. In local news, Ford's latest roundup of Hollywood's highest earners features 2 stars from Boston, spotlighting the success of the Cambridge natives Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. Matt Damon, alongside Ryan Gosling, occupies the 4th spot with earnings of $43 million, demonstrating his enduring appeal in the film industry. Ben Affleck, not far behind, ranks 9th with $38 million, underscoring his significant impact and continued relevance in Hollywood. Leading the pack is New Hampshire's Adam Sandler, who tops the list at an impressive $73 million, marking a standout year for the actor. Now on to sports. Jake Paul is set to fight boxing legend Mike Tyson in a highly anticipated match in Texas this July, marking a significant moment in crossover boxing events. Despite Mike Tyson's last professional fight being almost 20 years ago, the 57-year-old will face a much younger opponent in Paul, who has quickly become one of boxing's most talked-about figures. Paul, with a 9-1 record, rose to fame in the boxing world after a viral knockout of Nate Robinson, and now aims to test his skills against Tyson, who was once dubbed the baddest man on the planet. This event, described by Paul as potentially the biggest fight in history, showcases his ambition to become a world champion and will be streamed live on Netflix, leveraging the platform's massive reach. Last night, the Celtics on the road lost to the Nuggets, 115 to 109. Also last night, at the Garden, the Bruins got back on track, beating the Maple Leafs 4-1. And shocker, they didn't go into overtime. I know, totally cray. The game was highlighted by a 5-on-3 advantage for the Bruins, leading to a goal by David Pastrnak, and crucial goals from Trent Frederic and Morgan Geekie in the second period. Despite a potential injury scare for Charlie McAvoy, he returned to play, ensuring the Bruins' defense remained robust amidst existing injuries. Tyler Bertuzzi, against his former team, was noted for a fight rather than points, adding to the match's intensity. This win narrows the Bruins' gap to the Atlantic Division leader, the Florida Panthers, by a point, intensifying the race for the top spot. The Bruins remain at home and take on the Penguins Saturday afternoon. Hey, maybe John Henry will be there, to root for his team. In top news, Bitcoin has surged to a new all-time high, buoyed by recent ETFs endorsements despite its inherent risks, including the possibility of Satoshi Nakamoto, its enigmatic creator, returning. Satoshi, who vanished after 2011, controls a vast number of early Bitcoin wallets, amounting to over 1 million Bitcoins, according to Chainalysis. Speculations about Satoshi's return have reignited, fueled by a mysterious $1.2 million deposit into one of their wallets, and a UK trial seeking to uncover their identity. The debate over Satoshi's identity persists, with some believing in the involvement of libertarian Nick Szabo and cryptographer Hal Finney in Bitcoin's creation. The likelihood of Satoshi revealing themselves is slim, given their ideological commitment to Bitcoin's decentralization and the practical dangers of coming forward. Concerns also center on what would happen to Satoshi's $75 billion fortune upon their death, raising questions about market impact and the potential for a dead man's switch. Experts argue that, while a mass sell-off by Satoshi could disrupt the market, Bitcoin's resilience and increased decentralization would ultimately strengthen it. In business news, the S&P 500 achieved its 16th record high this year, signaling optimism on Wall Street, buoyed by the prospect of eased interest rates. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell's hint at potential rate cuts later this year has fueled investor enthusiasm, despite the Fed's cautious approach to inflation data. This potential monetary policy shift comes after criticism of the Fed's delayed response to rising inflation, with discussions focusing on the timing of rate reductions to avoid economic slowdown. Recent reports suggesting a reduction in inflationary pressures and improvements in worker productivity have contributed to a positive outlook, influencing Treasury yields and stock market dynamics. In the job market, a forthcoming report is anticipated to reflect a balance between a robust employment sector and conditions favorable for the Fed's rate cut considerations. Corporate earnings, notably Kroger's surprising profit, and NVIDIA's continued rise due to AI technology interest, have also played a role in market trends, contrasting with some companies' less optimistic forecasts. In crypto movement, Bitcoin is currently over $67,000 and steadily climbing. Ethereum is nearing $4,000, and Solana is $145. Wow, what a week! Moving on to a more local vibe. In our community spotlight on health and wellness, we are working with a national Pilates studio to bring you some free classes, so listen up. Check out Club Pilates, with several locations in the Boston area. Pilates presents a comprehensive wellness approach, cultivating strength, reducing tension, and elevating mental well-being. Scientific research affirms its benefits. So now you can check out Club Pilates for a free class. With locations in Canton, Wellesley, Hingham, Brookline, and Framingham, just be sure to tell them Sunny Morning sent you by. And now, back to the show. Let's talk tech. TikTok has mobilized its extensive user base in a direct confrontation with Congress, aiming to derail a bill that seeks to sever the app's ties to China. The company issued alerts to users, specifically targeting those whose representatives are on the Energy and Commerce Committee, urging them to oppose what it described as a potential U.S. ban. This bill, necessitating ByteDance to divest TikTok or face exclusion from U.S. app stores, has prompted mixed reactions from congressional offices, with some dismissing the calls as lacking substance. Despite TikTok's efforts, the committee unanimously voted to advance the bill, illustrating the app's contentious standing and the government's intent to regulate its influence and operational ties. The situation reflects ongoing debates over digital privacy, foreign influence, and the balance between national security and free speech within the broader context of U.S.-China relations. And in entertainment news, Bob Marley, One Love, the musical biopic, surpassed expectations at the box office, drawing in $52 million over its opening holiday stretch, and is nearing $150 million globally after 3 weeks. Despite mixed critical reviews, audiences responded positively, awarding the film an A for Cinema Score, a validation that resonated with Ziggy Marley, the film's producer and Marley's son. The film's success echoes Bob Marley's own experience with music critics, underscoring a historical pattern where the public's reception diverges from critical appraisal. Paramount's strategic marketing and the film's authentic portrayal of Marley's life and music have been key factors in its success, showcasing the universal appeal of Bob Marley's legacy. The success of One Love reflects a growing audience demand for genuine storytelling and musical biopics, potentially influencing future projects within the genre and broader cinematic narratives focused on stories of color. Well, alrighty folks, it's time for the quote of the day. And today, in honor of National Women's Day, here's a quote from one of the funniest women alive.
I must have had at least 8 in my mouth. I couldn't talk.
Why'd you have to eat so many?
Because they're juji fruit. I like them. I didn't know it would start a chain reaction that would lead to the independent publishing.
Not to mention the end of Kramer's coffee table book.
You knew he had a cold. How'd you expect him to blow his nose? Yeah.
Do you know what's going on here? Can't you see what's happened? I've become George.
Don't say that.
It's true. I'm George. I'm George.
You gotta watch out for those juji fruit. We love you, Julia. Have a great weekend, everyone.